What's up, everybody? Well, I got another Asus G15 Advantage gameplay video for you guys today, and today we're gonna have a look at the medium at 1080p. So, basic plan here is just gonna take the thing over, run everything we can on the capture computer, and then do my settings, and then we'll come over here and do my settings with some camera as well at the very end. So, should be good. We'll just copy the same benchmark kind of outlier thing that we did with the Steam Deck. Just kind of walk around the apartment, feed the cat, and then during the camera part, we'll get all the way down to the funeral home. But in any case, let's not waste any more time and get this guy hooked up to the capture computer.
All right, let's start off here on the Asus G15 Advantage. We're going to play at 1080p with VSync off and all that good stuff. And we're going to start off with the game pretty much maxed out. And all right, let's hop into the game. Well, now, here we go. Getting some high gameplay here on the Asus G15 Advantage. Now, unfortunately, there's no audio. This game is weird, and sometimes you have to go to the audio tab in the settings just to make audio work, and I didn't know that at this point. Didn't even notice it wasn't working yet, because this is one of the problems when you don't have sound, I guess, when you're doing your recordings. If I would have seen that and heard that, I've been like, oh, there's no sound? Well, let's fix that real quick instead of recording all these that way. But this is already like quite a bit of work, so since all we're trying to do is get FPS numbers anyway, it sucks not having audio, besides, well, me, but it is what it is. At least we can see how it plays, and that's the main point of these videos. So 1440, all 1080p is probably going to be like this, and 1440p too. I might have figured it out once I got to the camera recorded gameplay part, but I can't remember 100%. Of course, we got to always get the cat our food, just like we did in the Steam Deck video. All right, now they're all good and fed. Well, seems to run just fine without ray tracing on anyway. I'm sure it'll probably not be able to do 60 once we turn that on, but now let's go drop it down to medium. Here's some medium settings now. And I tried it out. The preset seemed to be broken on PC too. I thought it might have just been a Steam Deck thing, but I had to do this myself. But it's whatever, I don't mind. There wasn't that many settings to do it on. But anyway, let's go hop in the game and see how medium fares. Well now, let's get some medium gameplay in. So no audio, sorry about that. This game is weird. Had no problems on the Steam Deck, so I figured there wouldn't be any issues. This is one of the issues when I guess when you don't have audio. You don't notice things like this till it gets too late. But at least it's not like the image is corrupted or anything, so we can still see the frame rate and everything, and that's the way more important point of all these videos anyway, so. Sucks there's no audio, but it is what it is. I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure I fix it once we get to camera gameplay. I start going, hey, what the fuck, where's the audio? Alright, well, we got the dude's tie clip, so now I can at least walk out the door later and finish our little benchmark run out there. That's usually where I stop. At least until we get to camera recorded gameplay, that is. Then I leave the house and go off into the journey of the game. But for now, just kind of chilling in the apartment. All right. cat food time. All right, moving on. Now for low. So let's look over the settings quickly before we get back into the game. And there we are. We're at the bottom, so let's now go hop back into the game now, shall we? Well, now we got the game on low, so let's just run around, see what we get. Still get no sound as usual. If that ever happens to any of you guys, the easy quick fix is just go over to the audio tab real quick. I am very excited to get this capture computer rig all set up properly so I can have like another monitor with whatchamacallit, where I can actually see the footage without it being all laggy and have audio and all that shit. I'll probably just get like a little 1080p monitor to put up above my ultra wide or something like that. There we go. The cat is all fed now, so that can be all happy. Well, it certainly gets a lot of FPS, that's for sure, on low. So if you want to treat this game like it's a first-person shooter, boom, you can do that right here with everything on low. Still has some stutters, though, a bunch here and there, but not the end of the world in a game like this. Still, though, it pisses me off, and I wish there were no stutters at all, but they're at least not as bad as some games. Now we will try ray tracing, so we're just going to not fuck around at all and just put it all the way up to ultra instead of trying ultra and on. The difference between the two is probably like 5 FPS or something silly like that anyway. Sometimes it makes like no difference at all. Anyway, that's the bottom, so let's go see how ray tracing does. We're probably going to struggle to even stay above 30 FPS now, but hey, we'll have to wait and see. Well, alright, here we go with some ray tracing. And I was wrong, we're not at 30 FPS so far. It might drop down there later, but right now at least we're at in the 50s. And it seems in the 40s too. It seems to go all over the place. Ray tracing is like that a lot, just on everything. It kills your frame rate, and half the time you can't even really tell the difference. I can notice a little bit in the lighting, I think, but this might all be placebo. Regardless, not worth the big frame hit, in my opinion. I would not run that on here. Oh wow, we're all the way down in the 30s sometimes. Well, ray tracing is tough, and this thing's not the best at it, but it could be worse. This is still so far completely playable for a bunch of people. Not necessarily me, but I mean, I could if I could get this kind of FPS on the Steam Deck with ray tracing and all that, then for sure I could just lock it to 30 and be happy. But I don't really like doing that on my laptop. Not locking it under 60 anyway. But I mean, if it was my only gaming thing, I would probably just lock it to 40 or something like that. Well, wow, we're already down in the 20s here, so never mind. You just can't have ray tracing on if you want a playable experience, no matter what it seems. Well, way to make me eat my words real quick there, game. I was going to say it might still be playable for people, but I don't think so. Though, who am I to talk for people? Still, this might be completely playable. But not for me. Alright, now let's go move on to FSR. Now we're going to do FSR. It is only 1.0 unfortunately, so we'll start off on Ultra Quality. No idea why Ultra's capitalized and Quality is not. Hell, most of the stuff's not capitalized. Why just Ultra? That's interesting. Maybe because it's so Ultra. It's so Ultra it can't help but be capitalized. I don't know. But anyway, let's go hop into the game, shall we? Well, now here's the game on pretty much maxed out without ray tracing, but with FSR turned on now. So we'll see how it does. So far it's getting like the kind of FPS you'd get on a frickin' first person shooter, so quite a bit. We seem to have alleviated much of the gigantic stutters. There's still little ones here and there, but it's doing a lot better so far. We'll see if it stays that way. And we're still getting pretty much max utilization out of that GPU, so we're not CPU bottlenecked or anything. At least not yet. Alright, let's go into our old room here. This is where it seems to drop the most in the whole game. But there's a lot of lighting going on in here, so I can understand why it did in the ray tracing. That makes me think that it's probably lighting. Ray tracing, because it doesn't really tell you. It's just kind of like, hey, I'm ray tracing. Doesn't tell you what ray tracing. Some games let you toggle on certain things, like Cyberpunk. You can have reflections, shadows, and whatnot, but this game is just like, nope, ray tracing. You get what you get. All right, let's go walk in this little red photo room here. And all right, let us now move on. Now we'll tone the FSR down to just quality. So let's just look at the settings here. We pretty much got the game all on high. The only thing we don't have on is ray tracing, because that was just too much. This laptop very rarely can do ray tracing. The Resident Evil demo was one of the few ones where it could somewhat do it. But it was still a big FPS cost. Anyway, to the game. All right, here we are with quality FSR now. Seems to be rather similar. Might have picked up like 5-6 FPS. But as you guys can all probably already tell, it's looking quite soft already. So, personally, I wouldn't go any lower than this if I was forced to use FSR. That's just me, though. We're still going to do all of them, of course, just so you guys can see how all of them perform. Wow, if I can talk, perform. There we go, got that cat food. Now we gotta go put that cat food in that bowl. Hell yeah, cat food in a bowl. And the cat can eat. And then we can go and visit the camera room. And then we can run on to the next FSR setting after that. And with this, we can now move on to that next FSR setting. So now moving on down to balanced FSR here. Everything else still on high. And we'll just go and get to the bottom here. And then into the game. Well, there we are. Into the game we go already. Didn't take us long to get to the bottom at all. Well, alright now, here's balanced FSR. So let's just run around again. Picked up quite a bit of FPS now. Definitely does not look very good anymore, but hey. It's an option if you want it. It's not easy to freaking do this. There we go. Alright, now the cat's all fed as part of our little benchmark run. And at this rate, we're definitely bottlenecking the GPU a little bit with the amount of FPS we're getting. Who gives a shit? When you're at 1080p and you're on low and all that stuff, you're almost always CPU bottlenecked. Anyway, let's hop into the next FSR. Last up on the AMD FSR Performance here, we got, well, AMD FSR 1.0 Performance. Kind of said the upscaling part as part of what I was saying, but anyway, everything else is on high as you saw, and as I was explaining, we already got to the bottom, so let's go hop on into the game. Here is FSR Performance, and it looks pretty dang bad. And in all honesty, it doesn't really seem to be getting much more FPS than balanced. It just looks worse. Alright, we gotta move that clock. We always move that clock. I mean, without that, you can't leave, so. Alright. So much cat food in the bowl. Well, I wish the audio worked, but other than that, it's doing a pretty damn good job. Doesn't look the greatest at performance, but heck, people on FSR Performance aren't concerned with how a game looks. They want performance. Anyway, though, let's move on to my settings now. Now let's do my settings real quick. Just want to show you guys there's no ray tracing or anything like that on, no VSync, none of that. And then here are the settings I decided to go with. And there we are. We're at the bottom. So now let's go hop into the game and see how my settings do. Well, alright, here we go with my settings now. So let's just run ourselves around our apartment again, our little benchmark little trip. And then after that, we'll jump on to camera, and we'll even leave the apartment and start going down to that funeral home or whatever. Okay, we already got our clip. Alright, this is one of the hardest places to run that I've discovered yet in the small amount I've played. Probably because of all the lighting and whatnot. But still, way over 80 or way over 60 FPS. We were in the 80s in there still, so more than good enough. So now, of course, let's go feed the cat. All right. Quick little small lap in the red room here. All right, let's head on out onto our pretty much this version of a porch, and now we can go ahead and move on to some camera. Well, all right, guys, let's get some camera gameplay. Gotta try this again. We had no audio the first time. So let's see if we... Sounds like we got audio. Yep, I can hear the cat meowing now.
It's like you never...
Here we go.
Come on, Jack. Where'd you put it?
Oh,
Okay.
where did Jack put it?
Let's do this the other way. There you are.
Alright, let's
Okay,
get out of
I
that
think
mode.
that's it. Jack's waiting downstairs. Time
Yep.
to say goodbye.
He sure is.
Weird to be back in my old room. So many memories.
Alright, let's feed the cat.
Looks nourishing.
Oh,
Here you go. What's your face? Glad to see you're still kicking around.
alright, now let's go look in the little
I can't believe it's all still here.
photo room. I think they have like a special name, but the name escapes me at the moment. When I was little, I used to just call them the Red Room. Alright, well, let's head on downstairs.
We lived upstairs from Jack's funeral home. It wasn't as weird as it sounds. Besides, if it wasn't for that, I may never have learned to use my powers.
Yeah, but it seems like it still loses focus sometimes. But this is still way better than
Jack
Resident Evil.
taught me to accept my condition. Of all my foster parents, he was the only one who saw it as a gift and not a curse.
Well, looks like we're going in.
Jack's in the prep room.
I don't know where the prep room is. Yeah, you say that like I know where it is. Well, whatever, we're just gonna explore, fuck it. Oh, there seems to be something I can look at over here. What is it? Can I not get over there? What the fuck's in my way? A chair? That's an interesting looking thing. Maybe I have to go around the opposite way. Oh wait, nope, I see how I get to it. It's from the front.
Here it is.
Oh. I keep nonchalantly finding things that I'm supposed to find. Later, I think. Alright, anyway, we got a key, so now we can go wherever it is we're supposed to probably go eventually. Which honestly is probably right here. They're like a down, I can't see anything. There we go. The problem with these dark games, since I got this stupid window right next to the laptop when I do this, I can't see anything. And even the camera has trouble. Another reason I can't wait to get to my new apartment. They have a much better setup for all this stuff.
Not sure if I'm ready for this.
Huh. I'm pretty sure it's where I'm supposed to go. Am I just missing something? Ah, yep.
Hey, Jack. I got your special clip.
Oh, I was gonna say, yeah, with there's no tie. So where is your tie? Well, in any case, I think that's plenty of camera gameplay, seeing as though it's a dark game and it kind of has trouble, at least on this screen. Did better than Resident Evil did, though, so I did not just axe it. But let's go wrap this video on up now, shall we?
Well, alright guys, that is a wrap for the medium, at least at 1080p on the Asus G15 Advantage, and it handled it pretty good, just not with ray tracing. Unless you're okay with under a 60 FPS experience, that is. It didn't seem to drop down into the 20s or anything like that. We dropped into the 30s a couple times, mainly hanged out in the low 50s to high 40s. That's where it seemed to sit when you had ray tracing on. And you could always do ray tracing and some FSR if you don't mind, but FSR 1.0 in my opinion just looks too terrible. I do not like turning that one on especially. I don't like running any of that upscaling crap if I can avoid it. But I especially do not like the 1.0 versions of either DLSS or FSR. They're both just absolute not great. But in any case though, besides ray tracing, handled it absolutely flawlessly, especially with my settings. Hell, my settings seem to alleviate most of the stutter too, which is nice. Seems like you just can't get away from that DirectX 12 stutter. But in any case, that is all I got for you guys for this particular video. It's time for me to now get started on the 1440p video. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, because I sure as hell enjoyed making it for you guys. And until the next video, peace out, guys.